Okay, so filming this, I'm not sure how I'll do, because I'm trying to hold a phone and get the light and all that stuff. So this is the body. That magnet there is inside the dome, and the reason for that is it's quite a strong magnet. Can't quite remember the size. There's another one in there, you can see. And it really is a very strong magnet. But the advantage with that is you can pose him in different angles. If you just put the magnet on flat, then you just get one angle. The magnets for the shoulders are up there. I think they're an 8mm by 3mm. And then the other end of that, same magnet, 8 by 3. You just have to drill it out a little bit. So that'll then snap into place, like that. I bothered to magnetize the wrist joint, which means that the wrist is posable as well. So I think it's a slightly smaller magnet in there. And again, because I left a bit of the dome, it means you can kind of pose that lots of different ways. Left the thumb joint loose, just for fun, isn't it? There you go. Other side, same thing. Some of the guns are like this one, the chain gun. You just stick it together. There's no point in magnetizing the front end of it because it only has this to fit it. So that's real simple. And again, posable, all that kind of stuff. The melter is a lot more complicated. The one that's the melter gun and then the other bits, that's a lot more difficult. So what I did is I cut the front off and magnetized in there. Again, I think that's an 8 by 3. Then I left the melter gun plate just on its own. No magnets in there at all. Well, that's messy. But what I then did is put a bit of old sprue in the ends of these and then stuck a magnet to it. So that's just an oblong magnet. And I'll try and show you how that works in a sec. And the same with the melter. So it's like an oblong. Sorry, camera's not focused. So this works like this. It's going to be difficult to do on camera because I can't hold everything. So you get that on there. Because they're quite a snug fit, this just push fits. Like kind of like that. And if it's a bit wobbly, it doesn't really matter because the magnet will hold it in place. Oh, I've gone upside down. But you get the drift. The magnet, doobie-doobie-doo. Get there in a minute. Like I say, try and do this all like that. The magnet holds it in place, just like that. What you have to do is if you use this little thing here to feed that weapon, you kind of have to cut the front off flush, and on the inside of that plate, you have to kind of doctor it a little bit. I don't know whether you can see that, it's quite bad. Like I cut the corner off on the inside and that just makes it fit. This one's real simple because you can just stick the plate to it, the shield plate, and it just clips into place, and that now looks like it's feeding that stubber. So that's real simple. And then again with this plate thing, that plate just being loose, you can just slot in the weapon, stick it on, and okay, it's not kind of law correct, but it's close. So that's those. The chain sword is real simple. The chain sword, you just put an 8 by 3 up in the elbow joint, and that just clips on. The big thing to do, of course, is to check your polarity all the way through, because if you get your polarity wrong, you are naffed. So that's that, and then the kind of carapace weapons, so the rocket pod, just a magnet in there, can't remember the size, and then there's a magnet in there, and then they just snap together, very satisfying. And again, you can just pose it however you like. And then the same for the, whatever that's called. What are they called? I don't know what they're called, but you get the drift. They just do exactly the same thing. And then the last one, which is a real faff and was quite difficult, and I've lost the gun and I had it here and it's vanished. was the little pintle mounted thing. Now, I've only done one of these so far. I've got another 3 to do. What I've done is I've cut the top off. I'll try and cut the top off that plastic piece and then just literally super glued a magnet on top of that. Up in there was a bit more difficult. I had to kind of modify it, and I don't think you can see it, but it snapped the kind of plastic holder when I drilled out the hole for the magnet. So you just had to kind of, on the top of that is a load of epoxy just to kind of hold it back together and some super glue. And then that literally just snaps into place and you're good to go. So I think most of the elbow joints, like these ones, these are 8x3mm, and the same on the other side of it, so on the shoulder. I haven't magnetized his head or his faceplate. What I have done though, because I can never decide what faceplate I like, this is really crappy, but it works so well. It's just blue tack. Blue tack is really good. So there you go. Hope that helps.